1, 2,
It's actually motivating to do something with this hand and not just kind of protect it. We've got what's called the shoulder of justice. Okay, so it's a bit of a funny one. It feels like you have to drive all your weight over here, but it's just your shoulder that's applying that pressure. Okay, so once I'm in this side control position, I've got my underhooks and stuff. Okay, Jay's keeping either a tight frame or he's just not doing anything with his frame. I want to motivate him to kind of put that shoulder of justice on. Even though I'm moving my hips, I don't need to. I can drop my hips and then just drive the shoulder in. That's probably the worst thing. We've got to be really careful just how much we kind of lean over like this, because it is, you know, something where he could reverse me, and especially if he's got his frame underneath on my my belly or my hip. If I start taking my chest pressure over here, yeah, it's easy for him to start reversing me and doing all this kind of stuff. So just going to do the shoulder of justice first. Give him a reason to put this hand in my face. Yeah, so it gets boring. So he's going to then start pushing. Now I'm going to thing walk. Yeah, and then I drop my head. But you see how my hips and my weight's back here. What I'm not doing is this. Okay, I'm using my ear to stay attached. Okay, so I could drop my weight all the way back here and he's still going to struggle to get his arm out into here. Okay, so once we've done that, we're going to transition into mount. Okay, what I'm not going to do is this. Okay, because he's going to capture my leg. He's going to have the opportunity to capture my leg. My knee's going to go straight across the belly, keeping my head in this position into my mount position. Okay, so drills this, shoulder of justice, your frames, thing walk, head and arm, knee through the middle into my mount position. You see, I'm always keeping this ear attached to his elbow or the back of the arm, depending on kind of arm length and head. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And do it nice and steady. Really focus on where your weight is. All right?
Yeah.
Give it a go. 1, 2, 3. Go into this position, create the shoulder of justice. Yeah, this thing walked up to here. Another option as well is actually you can just use your head. Yeah, so you don't have to use the thing walk. So if Jay kind of puts his elbow in a little bit more, I can just drop my head in this position and then just drive through and get into there. I sometimes do that if I'm low class. So if I'm here and I can get my head to the bottom, I'll just use my head to go into the same sort of position. Mentioned a couple of times the transition. Yep, I can't again have my leg going across here, so it's sliding across and following. Okay, so once we're in mount position, it feels like we should just abandon and go straight into the choke. But this is a key part for me. If we don't do this bit, our choke's never really effective in my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to just tighten up. So I'm going to tighten everything up. And with my arm, I'm going to do a circle. So I'm going to pull and circle in. So I go gable grip, yeah, and I'm going to take all the space away from the other side into here. Okay, so now I've got a really good grip. I'm going to loosen off because I'm going to be talking as I'm doing the choke as well. I then dismount. Okay, so tripod, slide across to here, and then look into Jason's eyes. Okay, I'm gonna just squeeze and just drive it. Okay, what I'm not doing is exploding and going crazy. It's just like an anaconda, everything squeezes in. Okay, we make it a little bit tighter by circling. So if you don't get it straight away, yeah, it's not grab the head and squeeze it even harder, it's change your angle. Yeah, so remember, angles create strangles. That's not mine. I can't remember if I robbed it off of someone else. Yeah, probably. So here, walk, just use your head, get into this position, keep your head, stay disciplined. Slide across. Yeah, a little circle, everything's super tight. Dismount. Yeah, and create your angle. And then just driving a little bit. So I'm driving into the shoulder, yeah, and that's what's going to force the arm into the opposite side of the neck. The circle gets the bicep closer to the far side. Their arm Yeah, that's what I'm driving into the other side of the neck.
So you should the circle again, so it's 5.
So when I'm mounted, yeah, this is what I'm doing. Yeah, so I'm pulling the arm.
Because when you get that, there's a little gap there, isn't there?
Yeah, and especially if someone's going to fight this as well.
Yeah.
So like you'll get to that position and someone's trying to push your neck away and open up on the other side. Just that little circle keeps everything nice and tight. Yeah, I don't want my chest over on the nose. Yeah, but I want to be a little bit lower, but circle round and then that dismount and keeping your hips nice and low. Let's give it a go. Yes, sir.
Can you dismount either way? Or?
No. Yeah, you continue going the direction you're going. So if you've gone, so if I mounted this side, I dismount the opposite side. It'll make sense when we do the choke. Otherwise, you're moving away from the head and arm. Give it a go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So with the crucifix position, there's a couple of different setups. If I just go this way, so yeah, and if we come in a little bit closer, guys. Okay. So for me, the way that I set the crucifix position is I need to do something with this inside frame. So this inside frame's not helping me at the moment to get in that position. If I just start trying to lift up again, we've got a similar problem where my weight's potentially overcommitting into here. So starting off in my side control position, even if they've still got this frame, we can do the same sort of thing. Yeah, I'm gonna come underneath and I'm gonna grab the elbow. So I'm gonna lift the elbow up like this. Okay, so you can either just use your hand. If you're struggling or if the elbow's on the mat, I can always grip with at least 2 fingers to get that elbow. There are some different controls where, you know, in catch, they tend to use this little pinch a little more. It can be a bit painful if you start squishing in and doing all that. And if you're not used to it, you get that, you know, first couple of times and you realise, oh shit, that doesn't seem very manly at all. Okay, so lift the elbow up and then I'm gonna bring the other leg underneath. So we're going into the broken scarf hold position. Okay, once we've done that though, I'm gonna bring my arm on the inside, yeah, and I'm gonna slowly work this hand across and threaten for a straight arm lock. Now, sometimes this doesn't work because the person, like Jason's arm's too long. Even though I've got my knee underneath his shoulder, I'm not gonna finish him in this position. Someone with shorter arms, I caught one last night. Yeah, I can finish this, but someone longer arms, it's just to set up the start of the crucifix. So when I get to the wrist, I'm gonna bring this leg out and slide the shin over the top. Okay, my sweet spot for this is kind of where the elbow pit is. Yes, it's an elbow pit. Okay, I don't care what it's called medically. If you've never heard the term elbow pit, it is now an elbow pit. Okay, I'm gonna slide that across and put my shin across, keeping my foot and my knee attached to the mat. Okay, so no matter where it is, pull, leg underneath the shoulder, okay, then hand on the inside, control the wrist as you start pushing down, sec this leg out, over to the elbow pit, and then this is the start of the crucifix position. So from an MMA point of view, I've got control because I've already got my underhook on the far side. Yeah, I've got elbows, you know, all the good stuff from here. We're gonna look at an arm bar in a second. All right, that makes sense?
Yeah.
Dead simple, right?
Do it one more time.
One more time, of course.
The start position is...
So start position, doesn't matter whether it's here or here. I'm going to do the exact same thing.
Right.
Okay, so we'll go here because this is a worse position for me. So underneath, grab the elbow, lift. If I can lift the shoulder as well, that helps a little bit. Yeah, and we'll look at this next week with broken scarf hold attacks and things. Yeah, so from here, hand on the inside, drop down, and then over. And once we've got that, that's when we can start striking and keeping control. We're also away from his hip, so if he bridges, not a lot happens. Yeah. So from here, Jay has to untangle his arms to do anything effective. Okay, give it a go. 1, 2, 3. One of the reasons why we kind of put the knee underneath is we're taking away his kind of base on his arm. So when I switch and I go to here and I start doing this, it's easier for Jason to start resisting. So Jason starts resisting, yeah, and doing that. If I take the bottom leg away, it kind of makes it a little unstable for him, and it's a lot easier for me to drop the hand down. So as he starts trying to get out and stuff, taking that post away, that base from underneath his arm, makes it a lot easier to drop the knee. Does that make sense? Hopefully everyone kind of feels that. So once the knee goes across, other position that we've got from here is we've got our chill position, okay? So this kind of stops this arm's ability to do stuff. So I'm gonna go and just look really not interested at all. I'm really not bothered. But from here, Jason starts moving, doing stuff. Yeah, I've got some good control, and it kind of kills this arm a little bit. Yeah, so that's something to think about. Because yeah, just chill position. So one of the things that Jason can do from here, because this back leg's still trailing, you might have just seen him try to capture my leg. So he's still got the opportunity, even though he can't bridge, to start getting into like a half guard by capturing my leg and stuff. So if we go to the other side so you can see. So when I switch, I get to here. This leg's still kind of trailing. So even though Jason's bridge doesn't really do an awful lot, he can start to run, start grabbing the leg and stuff. So I can kind of prevent that by bringing my leg in, but what helps us even more is to switch our legs. Okay, so from this position here, okay, I'm going to take my foot over this foot. Okay, so here, and switch out. Okay, call this a windscreen. Got windscreen wipers in a couple of positions, but from Crucifix position, this is the windscreen, if I ever shout it. So here, one, you resist, set that leg straight over, yeah? Might have got chill position, or I might just want to transition straight into that windscreen wiper. The back leg goes on top of this leg, because if I don't, his arm might just end up in the middle, and I don't want to do that. We might want that, but not in this situation. Yeah, and just lift them up. Okay? Does that make sense? It's a dead simple one, but it's going to lead to something really cool in a second. Give it a go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Position. So, again, in, push down, into here, straight into your chill position. Okay? Windscreen wiper doesn't change even though I don't look interested. Alright, so the windscreen wiper is still staying now. When we switch the legs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get him onto his side. So I'm going to keep this nice and tight, lift him onto his side. And this is what's going to give us the opportunity to armbar this side here. So I like to push on the head, yeah, not to be mean, but it just gives me something to post off, and it actually stops him from lifting up a little bit. This knee is going to come into his armpit, okay? So nice and relaxed. We don't have to rush this, and we shouldn't have any power, because if you are, then you're forcing something. Him being on the side always makes this much easier. So this foot comes to here, and then I change my angle. So I can reverse that super easy if I need to. Okay, so lifted on the side, this outside foot goes all the way over, yeah, and then I'm just gonna change and face the opposite direction. Yeah, then to finish, it's just that. Just that. That's all it is, it's dead easy. Okay. Oops, sorry. Should we kick him in the head as well? So I'll go to the other side. So all this still has to happen. Chill. Okay, leg switch. Set his leg out a little bit. Pull him up onto the side. Push on the head. I like to grab the legs if I can to stop the escape. Okay, so I'm not forcing that, I'm not exploding, it's just one continuous slow movement. Alright? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.